Imagine waking up one day and discovering your name is suddenly everywhere. Messages pouring in, praises from strangers, eyes watching your every move. You've become the center of the story. Everyone wants to know, who are you? It sounds thrilling, doesn't it? But pause for a moment. Why? Why do we crave to be seen so desperately? Is it just a simple need to be noticed? Or is it something deeper, a hidden fear? The fear of being invisible. The fear of not existing in the eyes of others. In a world where the spotlight can turn on in an instant and disappear just as quickly, the real question isn't, do you want to be famous? It's, what are you willing to give up to be noticed? This is where we begin to look closer, to understand why fame is so seductive and so dangerous. The instinct to be recognized. The longing for fame isn't just a modern fantasy. It's an ancient instinct buried deep within us, the need to be seen, to be acknowledged, to matter. In the earliest tribes, being recognized wasn't about pride, it was survival. Those who went unnoticed were left out of the hunt, left without shelter, left behind. To be seen was to be safe. To be valued was to belong. Even today, in a world lit by screens and endless notifications, that primal need still pulses within us, stronger than ever. Social media has turned everyone into the main character of their own story. Every like, every comment, every glance from a stranger is a small proof. You exist, you matter, you are not invisible. Science tells us that praise and attention trigger the release of dopamine in our brains, a rush of pleasure, like a reward we can't help but crave. And once we taste that rush, it's so easy to want more. But here's the danger. In the race for recognition, we often forget we're even running. It can start with something simple, a photo shared, a fleeting moment of joy. But when the reactions flood in, when the likes and views climb higher, that gentle need to be seen can transform into a bottomless thirst. You start to worry. What if the next post doesn't get noticed? You compare yourself to brighter stars, to bigger numbers, to the illusion that you're falling behind. Fame, once a tool for survival, becomes a race with no finish line. You chase the gaze of others, but lose sight of the only one that matters, the gaze you turn inward. Who do you want them to see? Who are you when the applause fades? In a world that prizes attention above all, fame can be the perfect mask or the perfect cage. And if we're not careful, we might spend our lives chasing claps without ever stopping to ask if those claps are really meant for us. Fame as a social currency. In our modern world, fame isn't just a feeling. It's become a kind of currency, an invisible asset that can be traded, bought, or manipulated. Once, fame was the natural reward for true talent or real contribution. Today, it can be built in mere hours with a single post, a single moment that goes viral. Social media has made the spotlight a public stage where anyone can become a star overnight. A catchy video, a shocking clip, and suddenly, a person who was once unknown becomes a household name. Sometimes it's not even about substance. It's about grabbing attention no matter how empty the gesture. And so, fame becomes a currency. The more eyes you have on you, the more valuable you seem. Brands want you. Deals appear. Fame translates to money, connections, a kind of soft power that can't be measured in dollars alone. In a world where attention is the most precious resource, those who control it gain access to doors others can't even knock on. But there's a darker side to this currency. When worth is measured in views, everyone feels the pressure to keep up. People forget that behind each click, each like, there's a real person, not just a number. For those in the spotlight, it becomes a relentless treadmill. What will you do next? How will you hold the gaze of a world, always looking for the next thing? Some are haunted by the fear of losing relevance, of being forgotten the moment someone else shines brighter. They turn themselves into a brand, a product, just to stay in the game. In this world, fame isn't just a reward, it's a burden, a weight to carry, a mask to keep polishing even when you're exhausted. And for everyone else, it can be a mirror that reflects back our own insecurities. Am I enough if no one is watching? But real worth isn't measured by how many watch. It's found in who you are when no one is looking. Fame can open doors, but it can also close you off from the parts of yourself that don't need an audience. And in the quiet after the applause, you'll have to ask yourself, when no one is cheering, do you still believe in your own worth? The social and emotional fallout. When fame becomes the prize everyone wants, it doesn't just change how we see ourselves, it changes how we see each other. At first, the need to be seen seems harmless, even natural. But when being noticed becomes the measure of success, society stops caring about who you really are and only cares about how many people are watching. Those who aren't famous often feel like they're missing something, like they're standing outside a party they'll never be invited to. Meanwhile, those who found the spotlight face a different kind of burden. The constant worry that tomorrow the spotlight will move on. The glow of admiration hides a quiet fear that all of it can vanish in a moment. We see it again and again. Artists burned out, celebrities questioning their worth, influencers trapped by the need to always be more. Fame can lift you up in an instant, but it can drop you just as quickly. When attention becomes the ladder to success, it also becomes a cage, locking people into roles they can't escape. For the rest of us, it turns us into harsh critics, always demanding more drama, more excitement, more spectacle. We forget that behind every character online is a real human with fears, hopes, and the same fragile heart we all carry. The more we measure worth in clicks, the more we turn recognition into a weapon, one that can make some feel invincible and leave others feeling invisible. The real danger of fame isn't just that it changes the famous, it's that it changes all of us. How we connect, how we care, how we see the faces around us. In the chase for fame, we risk losing what matters most, the quiet ties that bind us, the gentle questions, the shared laughter, the moments when someone simply says, "Are you okay?" Because in the race for the next big thing, we forget that being human means more than being seen. And if we're not careful, we might end up trading real connection for a hollow spotlight and never notice what we've lost. Redefining the value of a human life. When the stage goes dark, when the views stop climbing, the deepest question still lingers. What truly gives a person value? Fame can make you feel important for a moment, but what's left when the crowd finds someone new? That's not just a question for celebrities. It's a question for all of us, living in a world that never stops demanding more. Maybe true worth isn't measured in likes or in how many people know your name. Maybe it's found in how you see yourself, in the quiet conviction that you matter, even when no one is watching. True worth is in the quiet work, in showing up every day for the people you love, for the ideas that move you, for the things that give your life meaning. In a culture that worships the spotlight, it's easy to forget. Success doesn't have one shape. Not everyone wants to be a star. Not everyone needs a stage. And some of the richest lives are lived far from the cameras. Fame can fade as quickly as it came. But the kindness you offer, the relationships you nurture, the quiet dignity of a life lived on your own terms, these things endure. And maybe in the end, the real question isn't, am I impressive enough to be seen? But am I honest enough to be trusted? Can you still be yourself when no one else is watching? If the answer is yes, that's a kind of success no spotlight can ever match. Because in a world where fame can rise overnight and vanish just as quickly, the truest worth isn't in what others see, but in what you keep safe within yourself. Your hope, your compassion, your capacity to love. Fame doesn't define you. It never will. Only you and the quiet choices you make when the world isn't watching can ever do that.